Only Aiger has truly defeated Phi, and you see, that's the easy part. The hard part is trying to kill Phoenix. Let's talk about some of the most darkest characters in the Beyblade Burst series. Phi, and to a lesser extent his twin brother Hyde. They have two of the most iconic roles to play in their season, being the antagonists of the Beyblade Burst Turbo, otherwise known as the Beyblade Burst Super Z or Chozetsu in Japan. You may think or have heard that Phi's Phoenix is indestructible, but Phoenix was destined to be destroyed by Aiger for more than plot reasons. Hyde, on the other hand, seeks to have fun and gain an audience through his Beyblade skills and showmanship, being the mischievous archetype, while his twin Phi, the focus of this video, uses his Beyblade's power to taunt others. He is a negative influence on others' minds, making them obsess over winning and feeling like destroying others' beys. Just like him, his Beyblade Phoenix, or more specifically, the avatar trapped inside his Beyblade, possesses great power and is the symbol for renewal or rebirth in most cultures. And I want to start by answering a question that we've all been thinking, and that's, what are the Beyblade Avatars? And are they the same in every series? Okay, now there's a lot to unpack here, and that's, are the avatars real? Are the avatars even alive? Can they die? And are the avatars like Pokemon? Okay, let's start there, because it might sound like I'm making a crude comparison, but hear me out. The avatars are locked in the Beyblade, which is kind of like a Pokeball. The avatars only come out when the blader wants to or needs them to battle, and the avatars can evolve over time. Okay, let's get serious. I know that's not why you're here. This video is about Phi and his epic Beyblade Phoenix, but the information about the avatars is important to know. And it will become relevant because, as we all know, in the Beyblade Burst Quad Drive, Phenomenal Pain also has an evolved form of Phoenix. And well, is the avatar the same one? Now, I know this all sounds crazy, but it relates back to our first question. What are avatars and are they real? In the Beyblade franchise, we see various Phoenix-wielding characters, including Kai, Phenomenal Pain, and Jenka's dad, who famously named himself Phoenix in the Beyblade Metal Saga series. In all cases, their Phoenix avatars are represented as a flaming bird with yellow and orange auras. This aura is called resonance. It is the representation of a strong connection between blader and their Beyblade. This connection contributes to their blader's power level and is demonstrated when the Beyblade flows in battle, generating energy, thus manifesting its avatar during attacks. The avatars themselves are a type of being that helps power a blade, and it's clear that their effect can be seen and felt by others. They are real in every sense of the word, at least in the show. People with strong resonances can see their and others' Beyblade avatar. Some can sense power levels too. The way they're portrayed in the show, it does seem like they're four-dimensional beings. In our 3D space, we're used to up, down, left, right, and front and back. But in a 4D space-time, there'd be actually an in and a out. They say that the fourth dimension would be so small and curled up on itself that we wouldn't be able to notice it even if it's all around us. Now, I'm not a scientist, but not even they would know what a four-dimensional being would look like or even act like. But I think of it like this. The anime show and its universe are in a 3D space-time, much like we are, although portrayed in a two-dimensional screen. There is depth in the show. If the Beyblade avatars reside in the next dimension up, the fourth dimension, the avatars would still be a part of the 3D space, but can see time as a dimension to travel in. They are able to see and interact with the Beyblade world, but only when someone they know can call upon them. And their action depends on the connection between blader, Beyblade, and avatar, which can transcend the boundaries of space-time. 4D beings would be able to do extraordinary things in our universe, as perceived by us anyways. These beings would have the ability to see what lies inside objects in our 3D universe. They can easily see each and every organ inside of your body. In fact, they can pull these organs out without having to penetrate your skin. And that's for the same reason we're able to play with these dots inside a drawing of a circle without having to penetrate it per se. If these two flat dots were actually beings on this paper, they would freak out if they saw me doing this. Now, remembering all that, are all avatars the same? There is a connection between the Burst and Metal Saga series in the way in which Phi upgrades his Beyblades, as stated in the show.
Apparently, Phi has a turbo bay called Phi Phoenix that's made out of a meteor.
That's right, thanks. Just like the legendary Blader's Beyblades were in Metal Fury. No, I'm not saying that Phi is a legendary Blader himself, but there's a possibility that he's on the same power level as them and has been written in this way on purpose. Now, I assume that what is made from the meteor is the level chip itself, not the Beyblade, as Phi received Phi Phoenix as a kid, unless this is a different one and he broke the first one, which is still a possibility. I've talked about using meteorites to make Beyblade parts in real life before, along with many other theories listed in the description below. It is said that a Blader and Beyblade can share the same power when the Beyblade's aura activates. This usually happens in battle, and the Bey's aura takes the shape of a mythical creature, star constellation, or demigod. Some of these avatars are quote-unquote people that not only enhance a Beyblade's power, but can also infuse certain traits to its wielder, like anger, braveness, or pure evil, like with Spriggan or Regal. Meaning some of these beings not only experience the fun of battle, but can also experience the pain when the Beyblade breaks. And this is also shown in the anime. These beings, when compared to older generations of Beyblade, as like the original Beyblade series and the Metal Saga Beyblade series, can also be thought of as the same thing, although not in the same universe canonically. In other words, an avatar is a being who interacts in this world through a Beyblade. That being a bit chip, an energy layer, or facebuilt. In Back and Shoot, the Bit Beasts inhabited Beyblades by their own free will, and others remain locked in ancient monuments throughout the world, unable to be awakened, such as Achilles was. Z Achilles was made from the metal in the sword and shield from this statue, made by Taiga, who may have potentially tried locking him away within it. For what reason, we don't know. Now, what makes Phi so evil? Unlike Phi, a phoenix is often thought to represent a lot of good virtues, such as grace and kindness. In the case of Phi, his actions make him evil. He has broken the most Beyblades, rivaled only by Lane Valhalla, and that itself, I guess, isn't too bad. It's the motive that makes him evil. Now, it is strictly for his pleasure of breaking things. He shows no remorse for having messed around with Shu and Aiger and breaking all the Beyblades he has. His most distinct evil trait is his deeply seated grudge and jealousy of his twin brother Hyde, who chose to take Hades for himself as a kid. Phi resented his brother ever since, and I speculate it's the reason he sought other methods of getting stronger with his Beyblade, as Vault's sister mentions in episode 13.
I heard the power from the meteor made him really strong and gave his hair extra sheen.
Thanks, Nika. Now, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about Phi himself is that he influenced Aiger to use Dark Aura, while others say that it was the darkness within Achilles. But instead, I pose a new theory, because Achilles is usually helping Aiger trust himself. Those were the first words to Aiger. It was also when Phi met Achilles. I believe that Aiger was simply copying Phi's style. Now, let me explain. In the first episode of Beyblade Burst Turbo, we see Aiger copying Vault's launch style, as Vault clearly notices. And this does work for him for a while. Now, the first time we see Achilles turn dark was in episode 24, when Phi destroys Laban's Bey, Vice Leopard. We see a small amount of darkness emanating from Achilles as Aiger sees Dread Phoenix. That's right, Dread Phoenix, not Revive Phoenix. For some reason, Dread Phoenix's avatar is the one who breaks Vice Leopard. This is what Revive Phoenix's avatar looks like. And here's the purple overlay, and that's Dread Phoenix's color motif. In the next episode, Aiger faces Frida La Jolla and is able to tap onto his own feelings of anger and frustration. Now, after losing using his normal moves, he begins to use these feelings of anger to empower his Beyblade and also influence the avatar, because the influence goes both ways. This looks like Phi's dark aura, but I think it actually represents the dark emotions that Phi has likely been feeling all this time, having to use a Bey he didn't want in the first place. In mythology, the Phoenix is destined to die, although the Phoenix is a powerful being that can appear to a human on rare occasions and possesses the ability to incinerate things through touch. It's technically not immortal. It can die, and it has a weakness. I believe that's why Achilles was destined to beat Phi and his Phoenix, as they're vulnerable to iron weapons like many other supernatural creatures. When a Phoenix is pierced or slashed with iron, they burn. You can shoot or otherwise puncture the bird too. Upon death, the Phoenix would combust and form a pile of ashes. And it is also possible to kill the Phoenix by dousing it with water, but it will be reborn unless you destroy the ashes. It is a possibility that Phi tried to destroy his Dread Phoenix in that same volcano, in which we witness Phoenix resurrect after being potentially killed within the Beyblade Burst Quad Drive season. But what about in real life? I have burst the Phoenix Beyblades before, and although it's a tough bait to beat, it isn't impossible. The best way to know is to get out and practice. Start your own Bey club, or get to blading versus a Phoenix. Now, I did want to leave you with a few facts about Phi that I came across while making the video that I found interesting. Like, who has already beaten Phi before? And yeah, I know it's Aiger, guys, but did you forget that Ranjiro has also beat Phi? That's right, Captain beat him in a triple Bey battle in Beyblade Burst Turbo. But I must point out that Phi targeted Kyle's mask and threw the match. So you judge that one. As revealed in the manga, Phi's blood type is RH null, and that's an extremely rare blood group that exists in real life, with less than 50 individuals having this blood group. As of making this video, I've linked an article I read about that includes the different blood types. Now, from what I gather, it's so special because it has less or no antigens within the blood. This makes it an ideal blood type for donation, as the receiving body will not have an adverse response to the blood. On the other hand, this means that they can only receive the same blood in return when a person is in need of a medical emergency. Now, there's a lot more if you want to read up on it. Now, if you want to watch some Beyblade action, check out how the burst stoppers from Hasbro work in slow motion. If you want to see another Beyblade theory, check out how to beat Ryuga and make yourself a legendary Beyblade using a meteorite. Now, if you liked the video, consider subscribing, donating, and leaving me a comment below. Thank you for watching, and as always, let's let it rip. Dad's out.